Oh, it was a doozy in Foxborough. Harrison Graham here for Patriots Today by Chat Sports. We're going to recap this game a little bit, but really we're going to continue with the big picture discussion because obviously a Patriots loss is good for the tank program, and another certain team won, the Arizona Cardinals. So looking more and more likely that New England's going to have a top 2 draft position. We'll bring in Nick Rohloff, a.k.a. Rolly, here in a little bit as well. We'll talk briefly about this game, though. Chargers 6, Patriots nothing. The weather in the Northeast today was just brutal, so I'm not going to put this all on Bailey Zappe and the Patriots offense by any means. It still stinks. But with Justin Herbert and the Chargers only score 6 points, that definitely does outline the weather conditions. I don't think there's any doubt. And I also don't think there's any doubt that we're looking toward the draft. I mean, let's just call a spade here. We don't have to dance around. We don't have to overanalyze what this Patriots team is doing in the moment. Sure, there's got to be some analysis from the Patriots themselves of figuring out what pieces they want to be part of the future. There's certainly a lot to evaluate on that front. But big picture, it's about getting as high of a draft pick as possible. Let's just be completely honest here. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to keep you up to date on all of the latest Patriots draft rumors. We're trying to get to 7,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So help us out. Hit that sub button, and we're going to have you guys covered here on a daily basis. Rolly, let's bring you in as we do have an updated top 5 picks. Don't think we need to really talk much about the game. Bailey Zappe's not very good. The weather was worse, and that much closer to Drake May.
Yeah, we'll get to Bailey Zappe and talk about more on him in a little bit, but we do want to start off by talking about the draft because there was a pretty significant development today in the favor of the New England Patriots. They lost, obviously moving themselves to 2-10, but the Arizona Cardinals, who I thought we were going to have to maybe wait a week to finally jump to that number 2 spot because their strength of schedule is better than ours, which means New England's got a higher pick. But the Cardinals actually go into Pittsburgh and win today, 24-10.
That's huge for the tank program, man.
Yeah, moving them to 3 wins, that's almost like they now have a 2-win advantage over the Patriots in terms of the standings because with the strength of schedule and them having 3 wins compared to our 2, we'd have to lose basically twice to get behind them again. So to me, it feels like the Patriots are just inching closer and closer to a top 2 selection, which after today and basically the rest of this season is pretty evident that the Patriots' biggest need is a franchise quarterback with talent and intangibles that Caleb Williams and Drake May can provide. So I've never thought I would be able to say this in my entire life, to be honest. And I know I've been spoiled in my 23 years of life as a Patriots fan. Losing is actually the best thing possible for New England. I can't believe it. I'm rooting for losses.
Yeah, look, I mean, these final 5 games aren't going to be fun. Well, let's just be honest. But the good news is if you lose out, you are guaranteed a top 2 pick now. Guaranteed. There's no like, well, what if the strength of schedule shifts for Arizona and New England? No. If you lose out, you get a top 2 pick. And by the way, I don't think it's impossible to get the top pick if you're New England. Carolina right now, as we're filming this, they're in a 7-3 ball game in the third quarter. If they could find a way to upset Tampa, then that is in play as well. Now, realistically, based on remaining schedules, Carolina would probably have to win twice because they have a softer strength of schedule. But the good news is, again, is as long as you're top 2, who cares? I mean, I think Caleb Williams and Drake May are both great prospects. So as long as you have a chance to get one of them, which you will, no matter what, if you're in the top 2, then you're going to be in a good position, Rolly, as we look at the rest of the schedule.
Like, I don't see a win here. I mean, we've talked about this over the past week.
Jets, maybe. But by then, you're so intentionally losing.
You can argue about the Jets, but the sad thing is, I get the weather was bad today. If you legitimately think this Patriots team is going to be able to score more than 1 touchdown against the Jets, I don't know who's at quarterback. Obviously, Zappe didn't put up any points today, weather conditions, whatever you want to call it.
I don't think you can go back to Mac, though.
You're never going back to Mac. Do you think that Bailey Zappe, Malik Cunningham, or Will Grier, whoever could be potentially starting in Week 18, would be able to score more than a touchdown against the Jets?
Probably not.
Because you're going to have to be able to score more than 2 touchdowns against the rest of these teams on the list. You're not going to win one of the next 4 games.
And I know Arizona beat the Steelers today, but, like, I just don't see the Patriots scoring. Like,
the Cardinals scored 24 today.
Yeah, like
the Patriots have not scored over 10 points. They have lost 3 straight games, and their opponents have scored 10 or less points. They
That's
are
hard
the
to
first
do.
team to do that, by the way, since the 1938 something Cardinals. It wasn't even Arizona. That's how long it was. I mean, we are actually in a part of history to where what the Patriots are doing on a
Week-to-week
losing
basis.
effort on a week-to-week basis when it comes to not being able to put up points on the scoreboard, it is historically bad.
And
it's
look,
unbelievable.
and let's be clear, a rookie quarterback is not going to solve everything. But, you know, you got to get that position, and then you build around it. There's a lot of good receivers in free agency. There's good day two options at receiver as well. And that's why getting a top 2 pick is even more critical, Rolly, because you don't want to have to trade up for a quarterback.
Yeah,
like, you want to keep those assets.
And you also have a lot of cap space as well, Harrison. I mean, the Patriots, as we currently sit, I think are slotted to have like 74, 75 million in space come the summer or spring, whatever you want to call it.
Should be top 5 in cap space.
I mean, you're going to have a top 3 pick in all likelihood, top probably 5 cap space. Yeah, that means you have to replace a lot of people on the roster, but if you're 2-10, that's probably not that bad of a thing. I do like some of the defensive pieces. I'm going to be honest. I will continue to say that. The defense is doing an excellent job. This is legitimately a top 10 defense in football, and you're not without your best pass rusher in Matthew Judon, and who I think was on pace to be Defensive Rookie of the Year in Christian Gonzalez. The fact that they're even putting up top 10 numbers defensively is a credit to that side of the ball. And honestly, as much as Bill Belichick has kind of stunk, him defensively coaching this team. It's just the offense. The defensive pieces, if you ran back the same defense next year, I don't think one Patriots fan would complain. But you have to practically overhaul the entire offense besides maybe running back. Hopefully Ramondre Stevenson's okay, by the way.
Yeah,
and a couple pieces on the O-line. Maybe you run back Owenu and Trent Brown, but that's maybe it.
This is a hot take, too, by the way, Rolly. But I just completely blanked on what I was going to say. Hold that thought. What pick do you guys think the Patriots will end up with? I'm going to say 2. I think it's going to be tough. If Carolina wins today, I think that could change things. But if they lose today, which they currently are, 7-3, Tampa's got the ball mid-third quarter, then I think that it's going to be hard for Carolina to win twice. So realistically, what I was going to say, by the way, let us know what pick they end up with. What I was going to say, Rolly, is hot take. I would trade Matthew Judon and try to get a second, third-round pick because the defense is balling without him. Like, if you can get another piece of ammunition to add an offensive piece in the draft, I think that's something you have to consider if you are New England.
Yeah, it's a hot take. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Coming up, Bailey Zappe, not the answer. And, look, I don't want to rip on the guy. The weather was brutal today, but it's just so clear he's not the guy. Maybe he's your backup long-term, who knows, but I do not think he's the starter. Something I do think is PrizePicks is the starter when it comes to the best daily fantasy app out there. There's dozens of them, but PrizePicks, they get the QB1 nod because it's daily fantasy made easy. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS. By the way, our PrizePicks player of the game today, the weather up in Foxborough because they controlled the game. I'm closing in on potentially hitting this 3-player entry, by the way. Christian McCaffrey already has a touchdown. Cha-ching. Bailey Zappe, I took the less on his passing yards. Sorry, Patriots fans. That hit as well. A.J. Brown, Chris Godwin, I just need one of them to get a touchdown. If one of them gets a touchdown, I am good. 10 to win $50 on this entry. You guys can play as well. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use our code CLNS. Speaking of McCaffrey, he just had a hell of a catch. Link in the comments and the description. That code CLNS gets a deposit match up to $100. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. We teased it, Rolly. Bailey Zappe. Oh, boy. Look, the weather was really bad. And all things considered, I mean, he didn't throw a pick, but you get shut out, man. It's tough to watch. This offense just doesn't move the ball.
I mean, we mentioned the weather. I don't really blame him. There was drops on both sides. I mean, Quinn Johnson, he might have the yips, by the way. That's a different story.
I saw he had 5 catches. He still had a bunch of drops, too?
Yeah, he had one really bad drop.
Oh, man.
But, like, there was tight ends dropping the ball. Keenan Allen dropped some passes as well. Hunter Henry had an easy ball that he dropped. Juju, Parker, Tyquan Thornton. Everybody was dropping the ball. And, by the way, on that Tyquan Thornton throw, I think it was the best throw of the day by either quarterback. Bailey Zappe threw a perfect ball 45, 50 yards downfield, and Thornton, like tried to dive for it and couldn't catch it, but I'm pretty sure if he just ran full speed, he would have caught it and maybe probably ran into the end zone.
It's like when players slide into first base, just run through the bag.
Yeah, I mean, like Zappe was obviously shut out. But I will say this, Harrison. I thought the offense looked semi more composed. Like, I don't know if it's just the visual component over there, but Zappe looked better inside the pocket. And we talked about Mac Jones possibly having the yips, which I think is probably the most likely scenario at this point. Like, Mac Jones is in the pocket, pattering his feet around, being scared of when he was going to get hit.
Yeah.
Bailey Zappe actually stands in there. He did get hit and sacked 5 or 6 times today, but his pocket awareness is much better than Mac Jones. I will say this. I think the Patriots offense will be better for the rest of the year with Zappe not in pouring rain conditions. On the other hand, though, it is very evident that this guy does not have the arm talent.
Yeah.
Or maybe just even the accuracy to be an NFL starting caliber quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years. Therefore, draft time someone else in the next April.
Look, you're obviously moving on from Mac, but if Zappe could show you enough down the stretch to be your backup, well, he's cheap under contract for you, so there's value in that, I suppose. So we'll see. I fully expect him to start again next week. Now, one thing that Rolly and I really didn't understand, especially considering the conditions, is no Malik Cunningham. Like, this felt like the perfect game to have a running package for Malik Cunningham. They gave him reps during the week, Rolly. They brought him up at game day elevation. No snaps.
I mean, yeah, Malik Cunningham did not see the field once today, and
Very
they asked
weird.
him post-game, and they said he had plays scripted for him. They had a package ready for Malik Cunningham, yet they still elected not to put him out there in horrible conditions when you think maybe a running quarterback would probably get more PT. Another aspect of it, Harrison, is that he said that in practice this week, he felt like he got way more quarterback reps than wide receiver. So maybe for the rest of the season, Malik Cunningham is going to get more quarterback reps in practice, shying away from the wide receiver portion of his game, and maybe he is going to be the backup quarterback for the New England for the final 5 games this year. Maybe even starting a game for the rest of the season.
I find it weird that in a downpour type condition, you don't put him out there. Like, you gave him reps this week for a reason. You did not find any points. Why not put him out there for a few plays and see what happens? But we'll see. Maybe he gets a bigger opportunity for it. And I'll throw this out there too. If Malik Cunningham hasn't shown enough as a receiver, I know he's still learning that position, but with this wide receiver crop, probably not going to be an NFL wide receiver. So giving him reps at quarterback where he's played his whole life might be the best chance for him to have a chance to at least stick. Who should start moving forward? If you think it's Bailey Zappe, type BZ. If you think it's Malik Cunningham, type MC. I still think for team entertainment, I'd rather watch Malik Cunningham, but I think Bailey Zappe will start next week. Let us know what you guys think, BZ or MC. All right, guys, that's it for Patriots Today by Chat Sports. More videos to come throughout the week, and I bet we'll have another mock draft this week now that the Patriots have moved up a slot, the number 2 pick in the NFL Draft. I'm signing off here on Patriots Today. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys tomorrow.